Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gengar's Revenge, where we use a Perish Trap team on the Battle Spot ladder. So currently I think we're maybe around 1830 or something, but let's see if we can break 1850 and hopefully 1900. That would be quite nice, especially with a Dugong team. I guess those are not too common this far up the ladder. Okay, so we've started looking for our first opponent. So I haven't really made too many changes to this team overall. I've pretty much brought the same for to almost every fight, and if we start getting beaten by the same things quite frequently, I'll start looking into getting some more counters as well. Okay, so we have an opponent with a Chandelure. I think I actually played this opponent slightly earlier. Okay, and he beat me then, but I made a poor lead choice. So let's see if we can improve on that previous performance here. Okay, so I'm going to bring the Dugong and the Scrafty. Pretty much for the same reason as I bring Dugong against Aegislash, basically, because I don't want to be forced to protect with Gengar and give up any chance of using Perish Song on that same turn. So by bringing in the Dugong, I have the option of protecting with Gengar, but still using the Perish Song with my secondary lead, with my second lead Pokemon. So let's see what he brings. Last time he didn't bring the Chandelure, which I did not expect him to do. So if he does that again this turn, we should have a far easier matchup than before. Yeah, so he went with the same leads as last time, so he hasn't really changed up his game much. Which is good for us, because that means it's going to be much easier this time around. So I'm not sure who I should fake out here. I could go on either. I'm not sure. I guess Dragonite could have Inner Focus, but it almost certainly has Multiscale. I think I'll just go with this, yeah, fake out the Dragonite. He might just Tailwind or something, and I don't think a Dazzling Gleam or Air Slash will do too much, so I'm not too worried. Also, if he does use Dazzling Gleam, that means I can disable it right away, which would be quite nice, because then I have a safe switch into my Scrafty later. What? Oh, he does have Inner Focus and Skydrop. Wow, okay, that's really cool actually. I did not expect him to do that. It's interesting, but I'm not sure it's going to damage us that much. This does mean he has the option now to double into my Gengar. I would switch in something here. Maybe I should do that. Interestingly, I don't think Intimidate will actually hit the Dragonite now that he's up in the sky. I think I might just bring in the Gothitelle now, you know, then I have my Heal Pulse ready. And with Gengar, I don't know what I'll do with Gengar. Shadow Ball, something? Oh wait, was he Scarfed? Then I should have Perish Songed. Oh, that was a really poor play then. Okay, I got flinched anyway. This silver lining, I guess. This is a really fun combo. I think he's probably going to Skydrop the Gothitelle now, but... So he's got a Scarf, Inner Focus, Dragonite. Sweet. Okay, so I can't Trick Room with my Gothitelle now, and I will send in my Dugong as well. It's a really nice combination, but it doesn't get that much damage off, so I'm not sure how much it will help him. Oh, so I guess he just tailwinded rather than... I need to check this battle again, because if my Gengar didn't get a Hyper Voice off, Perish Song off, that means he should be Scarfed. I wasn't really paying that much attention, to be honest, so I'll have to look at this battle later again to see what was going on, whether he was Scarfed or whether it was just a Tailwind. But at least now we seem to be in a reasonably good position. We can get the Perish Song off and he won't be able to do too much damage. Well, I didn't get the Perish Song off, so he must have been Scarfed, right? Okay, so what do we want to do now? I do want to try and disable that Skydrop though. Oh, that was quite powerful. I guess now we'll see whether it was... Okay, please use the Dugong. Good. Now we can just heal pulse him. Okay, we do need to start switching stuff out now, so... Let's see, my Scrafty is still full HP, that's nice. Okay, so I think I'll... yeah, I'll heal pulse into my Gengar. Okay, the fact that he couldn't use any other moves does confirm that he was indeed Scarfed. Alright, so I'll bring my Dugong back in now. I don't want to risk a Dazzling Gleam, although he's shown Tailwind, Air Slash, Follow Me. Might have Dazzling Gleam, but... I did actually at one point consider using Skydrop Dragonite for this Perish Trap team. Maybe I should give it a second chance. It does seem like something that could be really fun to use. The immunity to Fake Out is also very helpful. The only problem is with choice Pokemon on a Perish Trap team, you don't have the chance of using Protect every other turn, which is a huge disadvantage. At one point I did use Scarf Mat Block Greninja, but ended up taking that out of the team for the same reason. So he does have his Chandelier here. Let's see. If I go for a double Perish Song, is there anything he can do about it? I don't think so. No, I think that's the play I'm gonna go for. I don't want to risk mispredicting. I mean, if I fake out the Kangaskhan and he ends up having a Scarf Chandelier and KOs my Gengar, that could be quite rough, so that's something I'd like to avoid. Okay, so it's not Scarfed. Didn't have to use both then, I guess. Yeah, that will just about KO, okay. I mean, I could have split it slightly safer, but I think with the 2 I have in the back I should be able to take the game anyway, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so I'm guessing he's going to use a ghost type move on my Goth, which will KO. Maybe I'm not as safe as I thought I was. Yeah, I should have definitely played that slightly differently, because I do remember from the last game his Kangaskhan didn't have fake out, so I could have played that differently. Let's see. Just need to survive for 3 turns basically, so let's go with fake out and protect, see how that goes. He's gonna heat wave now, isn't he? I walked right into that, it was so obvious. Oh, Shadow Ball. Okay, so it's not that bad yet. Right, so now he can't KO both of mine. So as long as I don't protect now, I don't think he can KO both. No, he can't. So as long as I don't protect now, I should be okay. So I'll go for a Trick Room here. Yeah, if he had gone for a Heat Wave earlier, but is he maybe choiced? Yeah, okay, if he's choiced, that's fair enough, then he couldn't have done anything. I know he doesn't have a Sash and he doesn't have a Scarf, so I'm guessing he was choice specs. Oh, Citrus Berry. Okay, well then he should have probably Heat Waved the previous turn. Alright, so if I've counted that correctly, this should be the last turn. Okay, so that game ended up being slightly closer at the end than it needed to be. Oh, disconnect. Although at the same time, Chandelure is, if it's not on a Trick Room team, chances are it might well be Scarfed, so taking that extra precaution and going with the Parasong with Dugong was definitely good, but I'm not sure if I had to do it with the Gengar as well. Although, yeah, if he had Fake Out, then maybe that would have been a different story. But since I already knew from a previous battle that he didn't, and he couldn't KO, it would have been safer to go Parasong with Dugong and Protect with the Gengar. Anyway, we ended up managing to pull through a win anyway. Alright, so let's see if we can find another opponent to play. Okay, so we find a 1765, again from Japan. I seem to be only running against Japanese players. Maybe it's the time zone I'm playing in. Right, so let's see. So, right away the Gengar is something I don't really like dealing with, just because it can switch out at any time. Let's see. I'm expecting him to bring Landorus and Gengar probably. If he brings anything else, I should be fine. Although, I'm going to start with Dugong, because one thing he could do is switch in his Landorus on the second turn. And if I then don't have my Scrafty, that could be a problem, so... If he doesn't lead Landorus at this rating, I do expect him to switch it in on the second turn. Because if he leads it, then the Intimidate will turned the one-hit KO into Gengar into a two-hit KO, but if he switches in on the second turn, he could avoid the Intimidate, which is exactly why I don't want to lead the Intimidate, so that I can use it on the second turn. Okay, he does end up leading with the Landorus. So let's see, how should I play this? I could go fake out Shadow Ball, fake out Perish Song, Protect. Those are pretty much my options here. I do think I'm quite tempted to get some damage off onto the Landorus, so I think I'm going to start with a Shadow Ball. He can't KO me with Shadow Ball, and I don't think he's going to Protect. It seems unlikely. And that also leaves the option open for me to switch in Scrafty on the second turn and Protect with Gengar. So I kind of like this one because it leaves me kind of flexible for future turns. And he's probably got the Focus Sash, so now this means he can't play too safely with his Gengar, because if he misplays once he's now dead, so... Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is switch in my Scrafty and Protect with the Gengar. Then I'll end up with the turn, after my Dugong comes back in, I'll end up with a turn where I can fake out the where I can fake out the Landorus and Shadow Ball. Or I could go Perish Song Shadow Ball, which is actually probably better, because then he either loses his Gengar or he switches out and gets Perish Song his entire 2 Pokemon. Okay, so if his Gengar does have Protect, I'm glad he used that now. Yeah, okay, so this turn seems to be working out quite nicely. So now when my oh, he did get a crit, okay, that's annoying. But probably not going to be a game changer. Okay, so now I have the option of going Perish Song and Shadow Ball. So he either switches out or loses his Gengar. If he switches out, I get Perish Song on 2 Pokemon, which is nice. So I think by this time we have established that the Landorus is choiced. Okay, the Spore on Amoonguss can be an issue. Not completely sure how we'll deal with that just yet, but the special defense drop is definitely nice. So I think we'll probably start with a double Protect here. Then if he Spores, I'll disable that with my Dugong next. Energy Ball, okay. Okay, it was probably a good idea of him not to Spore. Right. Let's see, who do we bring in now? Which slot will he Spore though, that's the question. I want him to Spore... Do I care who he Spores? Yeah, I want him to Spore the Scrafty, so I can Heal Pulse it. Actually, I don't think it matters too much who he Spores, so I'm just gonna switch at random. It was a nice play of him not to Spore on that turn, because otherwise I can leave in the Dugong and disable the Spore while switching in the other slot. Okay, he spores my Scrafty here. How much HP has mega-gengar got? Okay, it's not too bad. Well, it's asleep, right? So I'm expecting him to spore the other slot now. Which means I could bring in my Gengar. Oh, he's gonna take a lot of pain. I could bring in the Dugong actually. Yeah, I think I'll do that. While I protect with the Gothitelle. It also gives me another Intimidate ready to go into the next opponent. I mean, he could predict this, but it would be a nice play for him to do so. Oh. Why didn't I just... Okay, I definitely... He ended up sporing the Gothitelle, but I should have just used Psychic on Amoonguss. That was a stupid play. He's even at -1 special defense, so... Okay, the Dugong switch-in was correct, but I should have just spored... I should have just Psychic the Amoonguss. I was sleeping there. Okay, so he has a Heatran and his Gengar. Okay, so right now I just want to get my Trick Room up. I don't think the Gengar can kill my Gothitelle now, so shouldn't be a problem right now. And then the next turn I'll just go for a Psychic onto the Gengar and Parasong with Dugong. Dugong can take heat waves for days with Thick Fat anyway, so... I mean, the best my opponent can do is probably protect Gengar and okay, well at this point the match was almost certainly decided, so... Okay, I think we've only done one battle now, so let's go into our second battle of the day. Okay, so we seem to be climbing up quite nicely in the rankings. We've been a bit fortunate so far in the team matchups that we haven't faced anything that was too threatening. I mean, earlier I lost quite a few games just because they had teams which were very difficult to play around, and my opponents played very well, so we'll probably be facing more of those soon as well, so I expect to lose a couple of games within the next couple of battles. Right, so we're still searching for our opponents. It always takes a bit longer once we get to 1850 plus or so. Okay, so we find a 1762 player from Japan. And he has an Aegislash. I hate Aegislash. He's a real pain to deal with. Okay, so... what is our plan? So I'm expecting a lead of Aegislash Mamoswine, I guess. How do we deal with that? So I have two options. I want my Dugong on the field, but I could either bring the Scrafty into Gengar, protect the Gengar and switch in the good Dugong. That way on the next turn I can go Perish Song, Shadow Ball onto the Aegislash. And the other option is to bring in Scrafty to try to maybe... No, I don't like the other option. I'm going to bring the Scrafty first, yeah. Because I want the Dugong there on the second turn for a Perish Song. And if I can get the Intimidate off on the Mammoth Swine's Earthquake, that's nice, because I think then it can no longer KO my Gengar, so that's quite helpful. Aegislash is probably one of the biggest problems for this team, because you really have to play around it. And it almost forces you to customize your lead just for that. Yep, as expected, Aegislash Mammoth Swine. Although, he can't really afford to Earthquake next to his Aegislash, can he? Yeah, what's he gonna do then? He's just going to Wide Guard Earthquake? No way. Maybe he'll switch out. Interesting. Well, at any rate, I can't afford to attack with the Gengar. The Mammoth Swine's probably Scarfed, isn't it? Yeah, so that's just gonna lock itself into Earthquake now. Let's bring in the Dugong. Hope it can take this Earthquake reasonably well. Oh, so he withdraws the Mammoth Swine. Okay, well that's good for me. I do not know for sure if a Salaman's Earthquake can KO my Gengar. Or Double Edge. No, Double Edge won't, but... Yeah, I wonder if his Earthquake could KO. Because that kind of is important to know. Although I don't think it really matters in terms of what I'm gonna do, so... Let's see what he does with his Aegislash. King Shield would be the best, obviously, but I'm not sure he's gonna go for that. Because if he switches, he gets his Perish Song on his back Pokemon. If he stays in and doesn't King Shield, he's gonna die, so... Well, he's not switching, so I'm guessing he just King Shielded. Yeah, okay, that was his best play. If I was confident enough in that predict, I would have faked out the Salamence, but I wasn't. Oh. I did not know that would KO. That's kind of inconvenient. Okay, it looks like this game is probably going to be a loss then. Okay, let's see what we can do there. The Double Edge is really rough. Now we'll go Shadow Ball to Goth, Double Edge into the Dugong, I guess. It won't KO the Scrafty, but it will put me behind far enough. I'm 3 or 4 behind and he can switch out his Aegislash at any time. I guess my saving grace might be if he's in Blade form, and in Trick Room I can use a knockoff on the Aegislash because he doesn't expect it to underspeed. That would be one of the few situations where I can still see myself getting out of this, but... Well, if he doubles up into the Goth, that would be helpful for me. But I don't think he will. Yeah, as expected. I mean, I'm not sure. It's crit, right? No? Oh, I thought I'd be able to take that. Alright, looks like we are getting 4-0 on this one. Maybe not 4-0'd. If he doesn't KO the Gothitelle, I can still kill the Salmons, but still. Vegas Slash is really tough to play around, as I already mentioned. I might sort of look into finding a counter specifically for that, so I'll see what I can do. Even bringing the Whimsicott and encoring the King's Shield is only a partial solution because you can always switch out. Yeah, okay, let's just surrender this match so we can not keep you guys watching this for too long, since the game's pretty much decided already. My opponent did make a nice switch of the Mamoswine into Salmons. Kind of similar to the idea of switching Landorus in on the second turn. Although the double edge ended up doing slightly more damage than I anticipated. Okay, that's our second episode for the day. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next episode.